Rachel Zegler, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantata is the only global solution.
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of like, I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing, before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
She was supposed to be the next Hollywood icon. Handpicked by Steven Spielberg himself to lead West Side Story, Rachel Zegler was fast-tracked like few before her. Oscar buzz, Disney contracts, and a global spotlight before her 21st birthday. But what began as a golden opportunity has now descended into disaster. Insiders say Spielberg, a man known for patience and grace, left the West Side Story set furious. Why? Welcome back to Celebrity. It's Olivia here. Because Rachel, instead of learning from the greatest director of our time, allegedly decided to challenge him constantly. She rejected his notes, disrupted rehearsals, demanded a modern rewrite of a character he saw as sacred. According to sources close to the production, Spielberg was visibly irritated during major rehearsals, so much so that he confided privately that working with Zegler was one of the most frustrating experiences of his entire career. And that was just the beginning. Because behind the scenes, she didn't just clash with Spielberg. She reportedly made the entire set tense, chaotic, and politically charged. For a first-timer to behave like this, it's unheard of. But the industry didn't find out until it was too late.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension. Racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
Doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
After the chaos of West Side Story, many in the industry hoped Rachel Zegler would learn, recalibrate, and come back stronger. Instead, she doubled down. Enter Snow White, Disney's beloved classic, a project with decades of nostalgia, an eager fan base, and a massive marketing machine behind it. And Zegler? She burned it all to the ground, before the movie even premiered. The moment the press tour started, things took a nosedive. Zegler wasn't promoting the film, she was tearing it apart, mocking the original storyline, trashing Prince Charming as a stalker, openly saying she hated the original movie as a kid, even suggesting her Snow White would be a boss who doesn't dream of true love, and audiences weren't having it. The backlash was swift, viral, and relentless. Memes, parodies, outrage. Even Disney diehards began calling for recasts and boycotts. But the worst part wasn't what she said. It was that she said it with smugness, like she thought she was better than the role, the story, and the legacy she'd been trusted to carry. Behind the scenes, the studio was scrambling. PR teams rushed to rewrite messaging. Reshoots were ordered. And insiders say executives were left whispering, "We gave her everything, and she lit the castle on fire."
Objectively a huge week. We had quite a few announcements. It's the first live-action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me. I'm Snow White, which is so funny.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie. She came out and she said, "I apologize. Like, I went too far." But it wasn't.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime. And let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely f***ing atrocious.
Nobody wants a movie about true love. What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
You'd think after the West Side Story debacle, Rachel Zegler would approach her next role with humility. But according to insiders, the Snow White set wasn't just uncomfortable, it was toxic, and it all pointed back to her. From day one, crew members described the environment as high stress, high ego. Zegler allegedly showed up late, rewrote dialogue on the spot, and frequently clashed with the director over tone, style, and even the core message of the film. One insider said, she didn't want to play Snow White. She wanted to redefine Snow White, and everyone else had to just fall in line. But that wasn't the worst part. Reports surfaced that Zegler had such strained relationships with other cast members that separate press schedules were arranged. One source from inside the PR team said, "We couldn't put her in the same room with half the cast. The energy would just drop." There were rumors of passive-aggressive jabs, icy body language, and full-blown arguments during closed rehearsals. And then came the red carpet interviews. Zegler, instead of softening her stance or playing along with the studio-approved script, doubled down again, repeating her criticisms, mocking the prince, and even suggesting her version of Snow White would lead a revolution. Disney executives were furious. This wasn't feminist messaging, it was a brand-destroying monologue. And for co-stars who signed on to make magic, not controversy, it became impossible to smile through the chaos. One veteran actress reportedly told her rep mid-tour, "I didn't sign up for this circus."
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Steven Spielberg is not known for drama. He's calm, calculated, a master of image control. So when he speaks candidly behind the scenes, Hollywood listens. According to one veteran director who spoke anonymously, Spielberg had a private conversation shortly after Rachel Zegler's Snow White press tour began imploding. And what he said shook the room. She was one of the most difficult young actors I've ever worked with. That wasn't a soundbite. That was a warning. The man who handpicked her for West Side Story, the man who gave her a global stage, was now disavowing the very talent he once championed. He wasn't bitter. He was disappointed. Because for Spielberg, it wasn't just about attitude. It was about respect. For the work, for the legacy, for the people behind the scenes who make the magic happen. And Zegler, in his words, she thought she was above it. That quote has now been quietly circulating among producers, casting directors, and agents across Los Angeles. It's not gossip, it's a reputation check. Studios are taking note. Casting meetings have reportedly started to remove Zegler's name from shortlists. Franchises that once wanted her are reassessing direction. And one insider even said, she's been labeled high-risk talent. That's almost a death sentence in this town. Because in Hollywood, you can recover from a flop. You can even bounce back from controversy. But when Steven Spielberg distances himself, that's career poison.
Now, I'm guessing that she's not married. I'm guessing that she doesn't have kids. The movie is a complete disaster, by the way.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
Hollywood doesn't cancel people loudly. It does it with silence. And right now, Rachel Zegler is being buried in it. No new roles announced, no follow-up projects pushed, no A-list stars rallying behind her. The buzz has stopped. The offers, quietly pulled, and even the Snow White marketing machine, which should be in overdrive, is eerily muted. Because no one wants to gamble on a headline risk. No one wants their tentpole project hijacked by an actress who turned a fairy tale into a political monologue. No one wants their set torn apart by a first-time lead who thinks she's already earned legend status. And worst of all, Rachel doesn't seem to see it. She's still posting as if nothing's wrong, still doubling down in interviews, still pushing a brand the public already rejected. It's not just a PR problem. It's a total disconnect. She was given a platform millions would kill for. A Spielberg debut, a Disney crown. And now, she's being whispered about in the same breath as career cautionary tales. The kind of talent that had it all, until ego, attitude, and arrogance shattered the illusion. Because in this town, success isn't just about talent. It's about knowing the room, respecting the work, and understanding that fame is a gift, not a given. So the final question isn't whether Rachel Zegler can fix this. It's whether anyone still wants her to. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Rachel deserve this downfall? Or was she just another young star chewed up by the machine? Subscribe for raw, unfiltered Hollywood truth. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next crash landing. Because in the spotlight, redemption is rare, but receipts are forever.